The day Niki realized he was gone, the city felt quieter than it ever had. Not silent, just hollow, like something important had been pulled out and the echo was left behind. She stood by the bus stop where he used to wait for her every evening, phone clutched tightly in her hand, reading the last message again and again. Gaya Tu, she whispered to herself. You left. Not just the place, not just the moment, but her entire world. Niki was not the kind of girl who believed in dramatic love stories. She believed in routines, in chai that tasted the same every morning, in small smiles exchanged across crowded streets. Love, for her, was supposed to be simple. And then Aarav happened. He walked into her life without warning, like a soft song playing in the background that slowly became impossible to ignore. He was not loud or flashy. He listened. He noticed the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous, the way her eyes softened when she talked about her dreams. Their story began in the most ordinary way, at a neighborhood bookstore. She was struggling to reach a book on the top shelf when a hand appeared beside hers. Their fingers brushed for a second, and something shifted. Aarav smiled, an easy, warm smile that felt familiar even though they had never met before. From that moment, they started meeting again and again, sometimes by coincidence, sometimes on purpose. Walks after sunset, shared playlists, late-night conversations about life, fear, and hope. Niki had been hurt before. She carried her past carefully, like fragile glass. Aarav sensed it. He never pushed, never demanded. He stayed, patiently, proving through actions what words could not. Slowly, she let her guard down. Slowly, love grew, quiet, steady, real. But love, no matter how pure, is rarely untouched by challenges. Aarav came from a background where responsibility arrived early. His family depended on him, especially his mother, whose health was failing. When he received a job offer in another city, far away, uncertain, demanding, he didn't celebrate. He panicked. The opportunity promised stability for his family but threatened everything he had built with Niki. He didn't tell her right away. He didn't know how. Niki noticed the change before she knew the reason. Aarav grew distant, distracted. His replies came late. Their laughter faded into awkward silences. The girl who once believed in simple love now felt that familiar ache returning. The fear of being left again tightened around her heart. When he finally told her, it was raining. The sky mirrored the storm inside her. Aarav spoke honestly, his voice trembling as he explained his situation, his responsibilities, his guilt. Niki listened, tears running freely down her face. She wanted to scream, to beg him to stay, to say love should be enough. But she also saw the weight he carried, the sacrifices he had always made. Their biggest challenge wasn't distance. It was choice. They tried to make it work. Late-night video calls replaced evening walks. Messages replaced hand-holding. But time zones, exhaustion, and unspoken fears slowly created cracks. Misunderstandings grew. Small arguments turned into long silences. Niki felt alone even when they were talking. Aarav felt helpless, watching the girl he loved slip away through a screen. One night, after a particularly painful argument, Aarav didn't call back. Niki waited. Minutes turned into hours. That night, something broke. She realized that love shouldn't feel like waiting in the dark, hoping someone remembers you. The next morning, she sent a message she never thought she would write. She told him she loved him, but she couldn't keep losing herself like this. And then, he was gone. Days passed. Then weeks. Niki went through life on autopilot. She smiled when required, worked when needed, breathed because she had to. Every song reminded her of him. Every corner of the city carried his memory. The pain wasn't loud, it was constant. She questioned herself endlessly. Did she give up too easily? Did love require more patience than she had? Meanwhile, Aarav was breaking too. In a city full of strangers, success tasted bitter without her. He realized too late that in trying to be strong for everyone, he had been weak with the one person who mattered most. He read her old messages every night, replayed her laughter in his head, and understood a hard truth: love needs presence, not just intention. Months later, fate intervened quietly. Aarav returned to the city for a short visit. He didn't plan to see Niki. He didn't think he deserved to. But one evening, as he walked past the bookstore where it all began, he saw her through the glass window. She looked different, stronger, calmer, but her eyes still held the same softness. Their eyes met. Time stopped. They didn't hug. They didn't cry immediately. They just stood there, absorbing the reality of each other. When they finally spoke, it was honest. No accusations. No excuses. Just truth. Aarav apologized, not with dramatic words, but with accountability. He admitted his mistakes, his fear, his regret. Niki spoke of her pain, her loneliness, and how close she came to losing herself. The resolution didn't come easily. They didn't promise forever that night. They promised effort. They promised communication. They promised not to disappear when things became difficult. Love, they realized, wasn't about never leaving, it was about finding your way back with maturity. They decided to start again, slowly. Not as the people they were before, but as the people they had become through pain. Aarav made changes, setting boundaries in his life. Niki learned to speak up, to value her needs. Together, they rebuilt, not perfectly, but sincerely. The story of Gaya Tu wasn't about abandonment in the end. It was about growth. About understanding that love tests you, breaks you, and reshapes you. Sometimes someone leaves not to destroy you, but to teach you how strong you are without them, and how to love better if they return. As they sat together one evening, watching the city lights flicker on, Niki smiled softly. Love was no longer simple. It was deeper. And this time, it felt real. Because the most beautiful love stories aren't about never falling apart, they're about choosing each other again, after everything.